Couple things I wanted to go over. Here we are in what are we, week 4 now already? Criminy sakes, time goes by anyhow. Um, Assignments are coming in. They're slow for me to correct. That's one of the things I wanted to mention, though, is that I'm taking my time now. I'm giving you feedback. Please, when I give you feedback and I say see attached, open up those folders and take a look at what I've put in there. Open up the worksheets, or workbooks, and look at the feedback that I've put in there. Oftentimes I'm putting in what the equation was and giving you some um, input as to how you might be able to improve on assignments going forward. So please take a look at that feedback. As the semester goes on, this is fairly tiring for me to go through these as exhaustively as I have been. And as the semester goes on, I'll probably be less inclined to do that, where I would give you feedback, I would give you the proper answer, but I may not, in fact, show you the equations and whatnot. A lot of times, what I've done is I've actually gone in and input the correct equation. And just so you know, too, when I say I want you to show your work, these things are kind of tied together. Let me demonstrate. So, if I'm looking at your assignment, okay, and I'm going down, this is the Chapter 4 assignment, and everybody thinks pretty much done with it, so that's why I'm showing it. Otherwise, I'd be giving away an answer. But, when I click on it, I want to be able to see this equation then show up right up here. Okay, if I'm not seeing that equation show up there, then I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, and at this point, I'm a little bit concerned. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be a whole lot concerned, and will probably not count the grades. Okay, in this case, there's an equation. There's going to be times. Let me find another one here. Where you may be putting in a function, okay, like this, where it says equals median. As the semester goes on, we're going to be using a lot more of those functions, okay, and so I get that. I expect that that's what I'm going to see up here, and that's fine. And even now that can be fine in a lot of cases. There may be some cases where I really want you to still do the equation, and that's what I'll demonstrate. Okay, but as the semester goes on, you'll find that we're using these functions up here more and more, right, where it shows up like that. So, okay, so one other thing I know I've requested, and there's a few of you that are still doing it the other way, but that you use the tabs down here, okay, and most of you are doing this, and so you can kind of ignore me for a little bit, but use the tabs. If you're not sure how to add another tab, you simply hit that. You got a new sheet. You can right click on that. You can rename it. Okay, 4-5. Okay, I can even make it colorful if I want to. Okay, so that makes my job a lot easier. I know at times when I'm correcting and you put it all on that same sheet, I have a tough time finding where the answers are at, because I'm looking at this big sheet and it's way off. But if you put them all on these separate tabs, it's usually quite a bit easier for me to find. So right now, if you get the occasional low score on an assignment, bear with me. And I say that because my experience with this class has been that the assignments vary. You might go along and there's a couple of these chapters that you just don't savvy, but then the next chapter it works out just fine, and you get much better scores, maybe even good scores. Okay, and so I've seen those ebbs and flows with a lot of students in the past, and so I fully expect that. So, if you happen to get one score that just doesn't meet your approval, don't get too worried. I mean, get worked up enough about it that you want to do better. I get that, but don't get too worked up, because these things do kind of ebb and flow a little bit. The other thing I would point out is that I typically drop a couple of scores in the grade book. You may see that show up in the grade book right now, where it shows that the one's dropped because it's your lowest score to date. And that'll adjust as the semester goes on. If you get lower scores, hopefully you don't get any that are lower than whatever there is now. Maybe they're all going to be higher, but at the end of the semester, then the two lowest scores that you have, probably in both the quizzes and the assignments, are going to be dropped. Should bring your average up. I do that because we all have a bad day or two here or there, or like I said, there'll be some chapters that may just befuddle you, and that happens. So the check two, there's several of you that I see you may not have the most current version of Excel, and I'm kind of seeing that in some of the formulas when I click on the formula. Some of them will say right here, it says this is for Excel version 2007 and earlier. Okay, you can get free Excel through the university. You go to the university website, and you can find a free version of Excel that you can download. It'll include Word, newer versions of Word, Excel, etc. Okay, so I expect you to do that. It's free. If you have some problems with that, let me know. I won't go through it because most of you have that, but if there's a few of you that do not, and so I'd sure like you to update that. You're going to need it probably going forward. There are some things that we're going to have to do that probably going to require a newer version of Excel. I think that's it. So keep it up. Again, I'll try to get correcting and be a little bit up to date on that. Right now I'm being thorough. It's taking me quite a while. And that's fine because I want to give you guys that kind of feedback. Thanks. Have a good week.